Welcome everyone, welcome to this event, Poetry for Peace, Human Rights and Justice, which we are holding as part of the 10th annual Leicester Human Rights Arts and Film Festival. In this evening session, we are going to hear from Malka Al-Haddad, Leisha, Helen Moore, Majid Dhana, Abdul Samad Haidari, Helen Moore, and TK Sebastian. I will also be reading a few of my own poems. And the Leicester Human Rights Arts and Film Festival is now in its 10th consecutive year. The festival aims to draw attention to human rights issues at home and abroad, and it aims to draw attention to Human Rights Day, which is marked every year around the world on December 10. This year, the festival is being organized in association with Forced Migration in the Arts and is drawing attention to calls for ceasefires around the world, as well as raising awareness around the crime of genocide. With this in mind, we have declared the month of December to be both Ceasefire Month and Genocide Awareness Month, and we've declared the 4th and the 10th, the 4th till the 10th of December, the duration of this festival, to be both Ceasefire Week and Genocide Awareness Week. And we've declared December 10, which is Human Rights Day, and also December 25, which is Christmas Day, to be both Ceasefire and Genocide Awareness Days. So with that as the introduction, and I now hand over to Malka, who will introduce herself, tell us something about the poems that she's going to read, and then we hear the poems. Over to you, Malka.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having me in this wonderful event. I'm so glad to be part of this kind of event because my experience as I am a human rights activist and a poet, and I have been working for human rights issues since I was in my homeland. Then I continue my work for human rights issue also in my second home in Britain. And I try to write my experience, as I believe that I am one of million people who forced to flee their home. And I think it is a great experience to have kind of journey, difficult journey and critical time for everyone who forced to flee their home. So I try to express my feeling about and my experience about this journey. And I wrote my two of my book and published them. The first book is called Bears Without a Sky, and the second one released this year is called The Truth at the End of the Night. And I would like to read some of my poems to express the feeling of being and living in the country that having war and conflicts and corruption and sectarian war. So my poetry, sometimes it gives. I hope it gives the reader perception about the experience of being a refugee from a country raped apart by war, and I hope it's helped to bring people together through poetry, because I believe arts is the shortest path between man to man. So therefore, I decided to choose the artistic way to express my feeling about the war in my country and why we forced to leave our country. And as I said in my first book, I said, my home is gone and my heart is broken. My tears said, write a book. So therefore, I decided to make my poems as messages to other people to understand how and why people they forced to leave their country and what the reason for their leaving their homeland. And I would like one of my poem from my second poetry book is called Love, Love and War. Also give a kind of idea about the war in my country. So, love and war. Love is to forget war that has no end. War is yearning for home, home that deported us, hosting our occupier, to eat my father's bread. Love is addiction of seeing into the past, a past that carries a scar in a sincere and pure heart. Love is pain, pain looking for home, destroyed by war, blood left that the rain of exile could not wash away. Love is wine, wine glasses that remind us we are sick with hope. War is an invitation, a night invitation to keep me awake until dawn, drunk with memories. Love is a bird's letters, letters from home that you left, but they didn't leave you alone. They leave you with weeping. Love is poetry that is collect all letters, all words to make up a homeland of dreams in cold exile. Home, love is a homeland, homeland's fingerprint on a heart stolen by the smell of earth and touch of waves. War is gathering those who gone with fallen leaves. In the season of tears, love is our unending war, is our true death. Love and war fired in the same bullet and left me in ruins, ruins, ruins. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Malka. Thank you. Did you have a second poem?
Yeah. The truth at the end of the night. I lie about everything. This is what the representative of the Home Office said to me. The truth is that I lied to my children when I promised a roof to protect them from the fragments of war. I lied to my father when I told him that I stopped being afraid of invaders. And I lied to my mother that one day I will free my sisters from the chains of the clan. I lied to my friends who were killed in the war that I would meet them and drink together in front of the Statue of Liberty. I lied when I reassured my love that we would master turning the pages of disappointment and that our freedom ache would not last long. After 10 years of home office challenges, still their hands are spiders mapping bullets in the wall of my sanctuary. It seems that I have lied more than politicians do, and I lie more than Boris Johnson, and I lie more than warlords. And it seems that everything in my life is a lie, except what I write here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malka. Yeah. So that last poem, it makes me think of the asylum process, and also of the struggles that people experience when they leave conflict, go somewhere safe, and then they're thinking about all the people that they left behind.
Yeah.
Really, really affecting. Can you say something about what you were thinking when you were writing it?
I wrote it after the scandals about Boris Johnson and the truth that we discovered that he was a lie to his nations. Then when I heard about that news, it just take me back, and I thought, oh, so Home Office always try to say to me that I am lie and in my case, and they didn't believe in my case. So after that, who is the one who lying? The Home Office, politicians, or refugees and asylum seeker? So this poem is actually reflect my experience, my process with the Home Office for 10 years, waiting, fighting challenges with the Home Office. So then just I write down what I felt about this experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malka. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we hear from who is coming next? We hear from is Lisha here? If Lisha is not here, we hear from Majid Dhana.
Hi, how you doing? You right?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. Is my sound okay?
It is good.
Thank you. So my name's Majid. I'm a migrant. I'm a poet also. I write a lot of my poetry is very deep. It tries to ask the questions that people don't want to answer, that people don't want to talk about. It tries to look at what are we as humanity now? How have we come to this place where the world is so fractured at the moment? And I've got a lot of poetry, but I'm going to read you two poems today. First one is called A Refugee Identifying as a Citizen, seeing that anyone can identify as what they want now. As a refugee identified as a citizen, beautifully brutal. And it essentially tells a story from the perspective of a little child. So I want everyone to sort of imagine that you come out your house and you have a look around you, and everything around you is destroyed and gone. And two things happen at the moment. You start to cry and laugh uncontrollably at the same time. And then you start to think in your head, this is beautifully brutal. Mangled, broken and torn. Mothers with children moving towards a glimmer of hope, migrating from chaos, they cope. Menacing flames once raged, marking their homes disengaged. Memories of their past ablaze, mere ashes where their lives amaze. Miles and miles they traverse. They gather, they reserve, mirages of safety they chase, martyring prayers, seeking grace. Sorrowful souls seeking sanctuary, scavenging scraps, scavenging sanity, stranded in a strange, savage society, stripped of their homes, stripped of their piety. Shattered dreams, shattered lives, shackled by strife, shackled by knives, sailing away, sailing to survive, sculpting a boat, sculpting with knives. Spirits unbroken, spirits so strong, sailing to a new shore, sailing so long. And soon they'll find a place where they belong, sovereign free, singing a new song. But my dreams are in a reality of a hashtag that does not exist. Oh, you who do not believe, put yourself in the shoes of a soul that screams. Would you dive into rubbish burn and cut off the only good parts left on this apple that's rotting? So this 5-year-old you met in this jungle, lost and weak, can have something to chew on and eat. But there's so many tears holding their hands out, asking for help, please. This jungle, beautifully brutal. There's no snow, but it's cold. There's no heating, but my mouth's dry, craving for water. A mirage is all my eyes now. Tell me, what day is it? Are you sitting at home complaining your favorite show's not recorded on telly? Tell me, what happened to humanity? You pay money to go to the zoo, to see animals caged up living nicely. I pray you turn your telly on and see me being judged for the choices life has dealt me. I'm screaming out so loudly, yet you hear nothing. Your TV's on mute, surprisingly. Yeah, please, come take my hand. Come breathe this air full of tear gas, police screaming your life. No one cares. Beautifully brutal, this world I live in. From a baby to a refugee to an immigrant, whose future hope of raising a family in this world I belong to, and not this open prison that you all see. But just remember, monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep somewhere in your head. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, there are some really amazing images that.
Thank you.
That, yeah, and I like the questions that you're asking about humanity.
Thank you.
About the comforts that we enjoy, and how sometimes they stop us from putting ourselves in the shoes of other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important. It's important to use that human element and ask that question there. The second poem I'm going to read is, it's very sad what's going on, and I wrote this poem late at night, and it's not only asking questions, but it's looking at what we call our safe place. What is sanctuary? Is it going to church? Is it reading a book? Is it running? Is it like, what does that word mean? And why do we have to go somewhere for us to feel something? So I wrote this poem called Sanctuary, and it's okay. Sanctuary, very wary. A distant hope holding on to memories, puzzle documents, documentaries, submerged treasures carry fragmented information. An imaginary monastery out of context, misconstrued, a broken future mandatory, badly interpreted, incomplete pages read constantly. See, ordinary to unmarry self-belief. Happiness becomes unmerry. Roseberry intermingling with rosemary. beneficiary, Mother Mary, visionary, Virgin Mary, unnecessary, miscarry. Unable to be stable, broken cradle on the scripture table, panic enables unnecessary miscarriage, prayer beads scattered, scripture books rewritten, 3 wise men lost the father's son, frantically tragic. Mercy requires victory. Trickery so slippery, life's treacherous histories. Misery desires abnormal cologne-soaked colonial mysteries. Tyrants, requirements, migrants, defiance, non-compliance and silence, parents with no guidance, warrants, captured riots, traffic pilots with no license. Am I just a virus? So selfish, understand this. Many selfish and dead fish all around me. My future rocking helplessly. Shoreline interlocking with Pandora's box, trying to save me from blocks of rocks trying to destroy me. Emperor, holy terror. Carrying my soul on Dead Sea scrolls, mismatched pallbearers, tied blisters under their cells. Trial and error, prepaid glory through terror. Observing my future, watching my past through its rearview mirror. Peace, please. Be pleased with me. Share with me as I plead peacefully, just a piece of shattered pieces of pieces released to me, difficulties and political themes, individual trees and miracle seeds require additional keys for your criminal immigrant deeds. But we believe, we achieve braveness no one can see. Disbelief, can you see what the words mean? Tyrants equals emperors deceived, but peace requires many difficulties. And my lights, my battling fight, and hope's my guiding light. A single stitch ignition switch is like a niche within a lamp within a crystal glass vase. The glass as though it were a pearly white star lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree, blooming stars in the night gaze. Dispossessed, overstressed, manifest, laid to dress, unconfused, underdressed, self-obsessed, compass lost, south-southwest, northeast, southwest, northwest by west, self-interest. I'm just an unwelcome guest. Sanctuary, pray for me. Don't drift away. Chip away a clear way for this castaway who's been cut away day to day. Sanctuary, your inspiration lights up my imagination. Vibrant colors building the foundation for my transformation. I feel illuminated, rejuvenated, self-educated, self-generated, self-motivated, recreated, unseparated, understated, understood. Sanctuary, my silent, sleeping, quiet voice has found its place, a life, a voice. Reflection, connection, medicated meditation, confidence, experience, beauty, legal duty, internal patience, immersive happiness, endless possibilities, courage, constant persistence. Dusty, stormy nights overtaken by rainbow delights, glorious flies and fireflies, flashlights. Sanctuary, 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 elevate me. I'll be waiting on the other side, hands out, safe space whenever you need me. So let's paint a picture, painting visions, scripture pictured, hope depicted, future triggered, inner peace delivered. No more unjust blizzards or cloudy storms engulfed by solicitors or co-conspirators discussing prisoners, discussing distrust. The dust is now settled where unsettled sandy storms once threatened. Loss, punishment, danger, distraction, lightning attack and thunder, disastrous chain reaction. And I will end this poem with a prayer for all. My Lord, put my heart at ease for me and ease my task for me. Thank you. Sorry if that was too long. Thank you.
It was just right. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. And then we hear from EE.
Yes, I am sorry. Today I have a flu and sinuses, so my voice will not be great. I'm not feeling really well, but I would like to join with you and to say one poem. Actually, this is from the first one I have done. Now I have like creative art space, and we do some art and craft as well. But normally what I do, sometimes I paint pictures and I make a poem about it. But this poem, it is just writing, just word, called I Said Yes. When someone say to you, you can't do something for any reason, and you feel you can do something, so this is when I'm saying I say yes. So if your inner thing said I say yes, so go for it. Don't let the other people turn you around. Oh, no, you can't do it. And this poem goes like this. I say yes. They say leave. I say stay. They are hostile. I am friendly. They say no. I said yes. They have authority. I have God. They create fear. I love safety. They detain people. We get released. They discriminate against people. I feel equal. They spread stress. I meditate and relax. They say no. I say yes. They refuse. We go to court. I fight back. I will win. I say yes, yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I absolutely love the contestation, the resistance in your poem. Yeah, especially when in the environment that we are in, people who've moved into this country are expected to be, to keep quiet and to be silent, and to let politicians and some sections of the media abuse them,
Yeah.
and to not speak back. So I love the resistance. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, they always expect when they say leave, you have to leave. And if they say something, they always say the right things. Just because, I don't know, just because they are the authority, or they think they have the best culture ever. I don't know. But it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Do you have a second poem?
I didn't prepare any second, but if you'd like me to say second, I can say one else if you like.
The second one will be good. Thank you.
Second one,
wonderful.
Okay, give me a second. Can you let someone else say, then I come back, because I didn't prepare it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, while we are waiting for you to come back, maybe we could. Is there anyone who wants to say something about the poems that we've read so far? Yes, Helen.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Ambrose said, about just how powerful that was, of just like really reclaiming your agency. I just really loved that. I thought it was brilliant. Really, yeah, really spoke to me. Thank you. And yeah, I'd love to hear another one from you. Also really appreciated your work, Majid and Malka as well. That was really so moving, very touching to hear your voices. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I enjoyed hearing those poems, and they were really from first-hand experience and really from the heart. So I feel humbled, really, that that I've had a fairly easy life of it compared to a lot of people that have experienced tragedy and war. So I feel myself lucky compared to so many people in the world at the moment with tragedy and war going on.
I found another one. It's the newest one I have. If you'd like it. Called Lost to be Found. Do you lost someone? Do you lost something? Do you ever lost yourself? You are not you anymore. You become mix of two. One you like and one you do. You are not you anymore. You can't see yourself at the mirror. Dark days, bright days, love and horror. You are not you anymore. You are at the end of the tunnel. Light over there, run and juggle. You are not you anymore. You can watch inside. You learn more and more. Do you find someone? Do you find something? Do you ever find yourself? You are not you anymore. You are the best of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do you want to say something about the poem?
Yeah, because when you go through this already immigration stuff, and even through the life, sometimes we feel we lost ourselves. We don't know ourselves anymore, and we feel we become worse. But sometimes the experience of life enrich you to gain more. You become best of you. So you'll not really become bad, and you will not return back as you was before. You become better. Just to try to lift myself up after lots of struggle happening, and really through this, because before I didn't used to write a poem, because I used to have lots of work, and I used to just even to do some hobbies. It wasn't easy, you know, like, so this is why when this struggle happened with the home office, so I have some time, so I can write poems, I can paint, and can do more of my hobbies. So I find something I never think about. I discover it in myself. I love it, but I never do it. So I found myself, basically. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we hear from Helen next.
Thanks so much, Ambrose. Thanks, everyone. It's a real honor and privilege to be here with you this evening. So just to say a little bit about my work, I'm an eco-poet. I've published 3 eco-poetry collections. My work also, as well as amplifying the marginalized voices of animals, plants, the more than human world, it very much also intersects with social justice, because of course ecological and social justice totally go hand in hand, climate justice. And yeah, I've written also about British colonial history in my 3rd collection, which came out in 2019, The Mother Country. So I'm going to start off just by sharing actually a video poem, which came out in 2015, in the same year as my 2nd collection, which is called Ecozoa. And that's in the book there. I don't know if you can see Ecozoa. And I'm going to screen share. So it's a 3-minute long video poem that was made with an amazing filmmaker called Howard Vors, who did the animation and the music. So it's inspired by the tradition of the American beat poets like Allen Ginsberg and Waldman, who used poems as a form of exorcism. And so this is my attempt to exorcise the energy of the military-industrial complex. So I am sharing my screen with sound. And I'm going to go full screen and play.
Kali, exorcism. Oh, Kali, shadow slayer, destroyer of illusion.
The military industrial complex.
And all the complexes within me that destroy peace.
Descend, blue-skinned mother, raging, bloodthirsty, fresh from the battlefield of demons, your 8 arms bearing skulls and weapons. And take this putrid fruit of our violence,
Slice it open to ahimsa, expose its seedy flesh, where it will only wither.
then show us the hands of our Prime Minister and his henchmen with the pockets of BAE systems touting for business with morbid regimes and crackpot dictators.
And their arms fairs, where they never ask what's fair in selling arms.
Just raking the bloody money
As our own banks account to.
cluster bomb makers.
Come, dark goddess, tear off veils of rhetoric that conceal warmongering deeds in cloaks of respectability. Help us hear deeper than the preemptive strikes, the collateral damage ventriloquized by our complicit media, and demand plain language to describe victims of torture, rape and murder in the wars they report.
Wild one, let your third eye reflect our distancing tactics, how we blind ourselves with science, mutely condone prisons where animals are tested with nerve agents, toxins, explosives.
Oh, Kali, reveal in us all the places
Where we let the devil make his garden.
in scorched earth, leafless forests, and among the dumb black stumps of shattered trees. Oh, Kali, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you very much, Helen. You know, that leaves me speechless, because it does many things at the same time. And I love some of the images that you use, and also what you said about poems as a form of exorcism. Absolutely love it. Do you have a second one?
Yes, I have a second poem that I'd be really happy to share. Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much, everybody. So this is quite a new poem, and it's much more of a personal poem. It sort of draws on my own experience as a woman of domestic violence. 1 in 4 women in the UK currently experience domestic violence, and I became aware in having experienced it myself that it was also in the lineage of my women ancestors. So yeah, this is a poem that sort of touches on that. And the poem is called Carpet Beater. My grandma had one with a long stalk made of woven willow, its 3 interlacing spirals like phases of the moon. Long gone, yet here now, beating rugs on the laundry line, thwack, 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 in place of this broom. Was this how she channeled fury in the guise of good housewife? How she handled blows that rained on her from father and husband? I need this cleaning frenzy to free myself from a tight shroud, the weave of daily news that leaves me half dead. Through wrists, elbows, hips, each swing makes a million injustices take wing. Loosed by Pandora from warp and weft, clouds of greed, war, ecocide passing in plain sight by the bright semaphore of bluebells towards the alchemist's sun. In rhythm with women down the ages, I beat and beat, beginning to feel fire thrilling my veins, an essence to be distilled. From a scarlet amphora, I'll dab it every day on my pulse, keep it sacred on an altar, wear it solely to disarm.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I love the connections, some of the connections, some of the threads that are how your poem speaks to in some ways, some of the others that we've been hearing. Absolutely love it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And we hear from Tamara Wilson next.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. Helen, that was very profound, really touching. I have 3 poems. Always, being a Virgo, I always over prepare. So I'm going to start with one that's called, actually they're from my verse novel, but I've chosen ones that would translate well to be read as independent poems. This one I've titled The Remnant. What remains of you when all your certainties are lost overnight? What remains of your family, of your life? A house, an orchard, a handmade rug? I'm telling you, not even a tattered photograph. A single broken letter is all that is left of me. A broken, bent, disfigured S. Has no one survived to seek the children of the dead? Ramblings of a drained zealot echo across the corridor. Stay away from me, you Armenian spawn. Not many appreciate how homey these words sound, how familiar to those thrust into an orphanage ward. My poetry collection is dealing with being a survivor, being a remnant of a genocide. And as someone with Armenian and Pontic Greek descent, in this collection, because I was asked by my father to honor my heritage so that when he dies, it's not forgotten, and so that future generations are not exposed to the same identity-based crimes. I've tried to raise compassionate witnessing with my work so that When we look at each other, we don't see an ethnic identity or a religious identity, but we just see each other as fellow human beings. And this one is called Merlots. It means the All Souls Day in Western Armenian. But first, let me wear the correct glasses. Oh, much better. Merlots. The Monday after Easter is the Day of the Dead. A day to unearth, a day to greet all your past selves, your hidden pains. One face at a time they will appear, while you hold your hushed one-man vigil. Most faces are as nameless as you now. Most places frozen and still. I can read one more if you want, or if my time is up, I'm happy to just stop here.
One more will be welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, and also same with the others who've read. If you've got one more, that would be welcome as well.
Okay. This one I've titled The Witness, in hope that with all the humanitarian crisis surrounding us, we just refuse to stand as bystanders and take a compassionate, active step to either understanding what's happening or to do something much more involved rather than just watch the suffering. The Witness. It's also an adaptation of a German diplomat called William Lytton, who was a witness to the Armenian genocide. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A young woman lies on the left side of the road, naked, except for her brown socks. She lies on her stomach, head buried in soil, arms disfigured, crossed. 2 o'clock, to my right, in a ditch, an old man with a white beard, legs splayed. 2 steps beyond, a boy, naked, lies on his stomach, left bottom ripped. 3 o'clock, 5 fresh graves filled. To my right, a man, lower body exposed, genitals blood crusted. 4 o'clock, a little girl, naked, lies on her back, left foot missing. 5 o'clock, a toddler rises beneath her mother's ravaged corpse. Above, a vulture circles the scene. Behind the shutters of my room, I stand, counting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's very, yeah.
Thank you for listening.
I don't know, does anyone want to say anything about the poems that we've read?
I'd like to comment on Tamara's poem that she just read. That is largely forgotten now, but that was the first genocide of the 20th century. I don't know if there was one later, but I've read about that, and it just seems that we're so lucky living on a small island. There's so much madness and barbarity in the world at the moment. It's unbearable to watch the news at the moment.
And Britain had nothing to do with what's going on? Oh, please.
But what, sorry?
I said, and Britain had nothing to do with what's going on now? Please.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're an island of peace and quiet where the rest of the world is sort of raging in all kinds of bloodshed. I'm not saying we haven't got anything to blame for that, but I'm just saying that we're very lucky to live in a country that's not at war.
True, yes.
Yeah, a country that can afford to export war and bring war, and yeah.
This is what I'm doing right now for what's going on. I started a petition I'm going to put it in the chat because I want to see the bloodshed stop. So I want people to think outside the box of the systems that have continued to give us more and more of genocide and oppression and occupation. So that's what I've done.
And when we talk when we criticize Britain, we're not criticizing Europe, we're criticizing the country, and it's how it is really almost always at the heart of a lot of the misery and hardships and difficulties that people experience around the world.
Yeah, it's interesting this, because how do you define genocide? Is Israel say that they're defending themselves? I mean, do you defend yourself by slaughtering civilians from another country?
The Geneva Convention defines genocide. I'm going to go with that one. Right. It's not up to every person to have their own idea. We came across with a so-called international agreement on what genocide means. And it's very clear.
Does anyone else want to say something?
I could read you a poem on, because I think with everything we're talking about and what we're seeing, it is affecting people with their mental health a lot. Not only it's affecting us watching it on the news, it's affecting people that we know that have passed away in what's going on at the moment. I've got a poem if you want to hear. It's just talking about the state of the mind and trying to, again, bring back that human element of just the natural senses of feeling of a belonging. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and stomached watching your whole reflection cut itself with every memory that makes you go revoltingly sick? So your thoughts become padlocked. They locked away in mirrors, echoing images, pictures, portraits. They trapped in their own shadows, imprisoned, incarcerated, caged, and cut off. Your hallucinations become preoccupied fantasies, caught up in imaginary descriptions depicting tears trapped, always watching their own shadows cry. Jido's reality, see? Tragically, my reality, that's a memory that's free. Metaphors double up as fantasies. Smiles, smiles, dreams, dreams, love, pain, fantasies. For it's a double duplicate, a doppelganger smoking, or stalking, training my double twin, identical screams. My thoughts are lost dwelling in this house of cards built from bricks. Some doors in this house open up, expose memories that scream. Visions of images meditating so deep when I think. It's so sad, distressing. How could this be? Anger and pain, the only joy bringing happiness to my distressed memories. You see, every word that I write tries to restore, inscribe, and mend the scars, wounds hidden inside, playing hide and seek, disappeared out of sight. Amplified, padded sounds, decorated with muzzled silence. But you see, life is a life living, breathing, listening, absorbing, and learning. Our eyes are often searching, but certainly not whispering. Medication boxes light you up like matches. Therapy sessions leave more questions than answers. Confusing demands attacking our psychoanalysis. Mental disorders, investigating the interaction of conscious and unconscious elements in the mind, bringing repressed fears and conflicts into the conscious mind with techniques such as dream interpretation and free association. I'm locked away in a place in a room that screams. So many secrets hidden here. It's hard to daydream. Love trying to be explained. Pain trying to be explained. Emotions all mixed up in this bowl that has no explanation to its chaotic name. So take a moment once in a while to pause, to breathe, reflect, and smile. Feel the sun on your face and your feet on the ground. Count the stars and examine the sky. Catch the raindrops and watch the birds fly. And make something from silence and let the words lift your soul and explore every sweet bit of your beautiful soul. For your future cuddle destiny and brought you to this place where you were meant to be. Determination and early morning starts. For you will start from the bottom and work your way to the top. Your heart beating fast. Many emotions trying to get out. To go float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. For you are a champion, a role model this world needs to see. Inspired by the greats, Nelson Mandela and Muhammad Ali. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is for the poets among us who are on this call who went on the reading list. If you've got something that you would like to read, let me know. You can jump in as well. It would be great to hear that.
That was very encouraging poetry. Thank you from the heart. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you, Fiona.
I'm happy to read more, but also I'm conscious, aren't you going to read, Ambrose? It would be really nice to hear your work too.
I'm happy to read last. I'm keen to hear, everyone.
It's so important as a poet to teach people the beauty of words, how to understand the meaning of words. It helps a lot of people understand the way my life has been and what's happened to me. I've grown to understand that every single person we meet in our life is a book. We constantly reading each other's books, and depending on what page you have open in the morning would depend on how you interact with someone. So you would probably meet someone and walk away and say, I don't like that person. And meet them again and laugh and say, actually, you're right. It's because of the page they had open that day. And as we're reading other people, we're rewriting our own story. The problem we get in life is too many people are trying to rewrite everyone else's story. And we try and do that. And that causes all the anxiety, the stress with love and the imbalance in life. And the sad thing with life is when that person is gone, we can open their book and read their story, and it's too late. So you just have to use your poetry to teach people to understand that life is going to be filled with happiness and it's going to be filled with challenges. But it's the challenges and learning from those is what will determine you to be able to stand up and be yourself and not anyone else. You don't have to be anyone else but yourself. There's a lot of anger at the moment. People are shouting and screaming with what's going on. But what are we doing as individuals in our communities to make that change? We cannot change the world, but we can influence people around us and make them understand that we are all humans, and use your poetry and art to do that.
And also your call, to that the work of the poet is around the meaning of words. I think that also speaks to even the environment we are in right now, where especially politicians right now, currently, with what we are seeing happening in Gaza, are saying a lot of things, but the things that they are saying and the meanings, it's almost like we are in a schizoid world where the world is upside down, everything is inside out, and nothing means anything anymore.
And writing is the best form of therapy, and it's free. Doesn't cost anything. Writing, teach people how to write, because words are emotions. Every emotion is a word. You have to teach people how to write and read and understand. Everyone has a story. Allow people to tell their story without feeling ashamed. That's all we can do. Because the world's imbalanced, but it will switch. It will become balanced again. But at the moment, it's a little bit imbalanced, and nothing stays the same forever. So we unfortunately living in a time where we are experiencing what we're experiencing, but people in Palestine will come out even better than everybody else. And that's a true fact, because there is a creator, there is a God, someone's given us life. That is a true fact. We were all children and parents and stuff like that. But it's how we react within our communities to come together stronger, so people are ready to embrace Palestine and be there to help them, you know? It's too much shouting and too much anger. Anger doesn't solve anything. It's very sad, makes me cry. I lost a lot of friends in Palestine, lots of friends of mine. But what can we do as poets is just write and just have forums like this and just encourage people to teach people how to be kind, basically. You know, they say charity starts at home, kindness starts at home also. And like a butterfly effect, it will just ripple and ripple and ripple. Sorry, I talk too much. I'm going to go quiet.
It's all right. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for those thoughts. So we're going to hear from Tamara and then Abdul and then Helen.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. I just wanted to comment on what Helen and then Majid was saying. I think what's wonderful about what we're doing through our poetry is that there are facts. I think where the technology is now shows us what's happening does not happen due to a lack of knowledge, but due to lack of compassion, our ability to feel for one another, to cry for one another. And like Helen was doing in her poetry about bringing domestic violence, retrieving it from being a fact on a cold piece of paper and giving it a human face. I think that is very powerful. Us talking about our heritage or whatever tragedies we survived, us bearing witness and giving it a human face is going to help put aside the cold facts and give people a chance to connect with us and that pain. And hopefully that, if it's done enough many times by enough many people, is going to mean that the future is not going to be a blueprint of the past, hopefully. Thank you.
And then we hear from Abdul. If you could introduce yourself and then say something about your own work and maybe share some.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm from Afghanistan, based in Wellington, Aotearoa, New Zealand. I became a refugee at the age of 10 or 11, and I have been running across borders since then. And I have seen the worst of humans only, and the amount of oppression and the amount of people playing God. I have witnessed and I have lived under those circumstances for years and years and years. And I have been a journalist in Afghanistan. I did journalism for 9 years, trying to expose the war crimes that happened against minorities in Afghanistan. And I became a couple of times refugees, and then my latest chapter was in Indonesia, where I spent almost 10 years as a refugee. I have arrived in Aotearoa, New Zealand in February 2023, a couple of months ago. I got my freedom and I'm free. I would like to recite a couple of 2 poems, if there is enough time. Otherwise, I could go with one. And this one talks about the genocide that we have endured. And I'm at the 5th generation walking in this journey, and generation after generations before me have gone through genocide, being colonized. Our lands have been colonized, and we suffered a lot. We have lost a lot, and more than 62% of us have been wiped out throughout the time. And of course, I am filled with anger, and I'm filled at the same time with love and compassion. And I have my own way of expressing my frustration and the pain that I have endured. And this one is called "Don't Ask Why I Don't Smile." And I have written this while I was in Indonesia. In Indonesia, refugees and asylum seekers don't have the rights to nothing, basically nothing. You can't even register a handphone SIM card. And 27 people ended their life in Indonesia as a result of oppressive system against refugees. Don't ask why I don't smile. I became a father, cried for my son. The son became a father, cried for his child. I became a mother, cried for my daughter. The daughter became a mother, cried for everyone. I rushed to embrace my child, but grasped bloody scarves and half-burned shoes. This steady moon and life itself cried. Today's, tomorrow's, all passed on foggy highways, the pleading visions, gazing at every door and window glazed over. The storms and highways cried. No soil is unfamiliar to Afghani bones. No foreign camp rejects our blood. The silent walls and the unlived years cried. Our rushing footprints etched into every rock. The numbed mountains and curved valleys cried. Every border knows our name, every patrolling officer beholds our faces, every UN office memorized our numbers. The heartless silence and inhumanity cried. Earth declined to enclose our eyes. Communities stood tall, watched us melting in the flames of hatred. The nearby flowers and embracing sawgrass cried. I stood before God for supplication. To my shaking heart, shivering legs, angels at dawn and Pharaoh at sundown cried. Buddhas from temples, Jesus from churches, creatures from seas, birds from skies, Muhammad in Laylatul Qadr and Shimr himself at Karbala cried. Only the believers and ourselves didn't cry. Don't ask how I feel, my beloved mother. The cold rocks and rivers cry. And the second poem is called Swords of Tyranny. The Swords of Tyranny explains, I would like to invite you inside those interior walls that are guarded by hyenas, wolves disguised in sheep, and they make you believe that the very cold and very dark corner is your home, and they make you believe that you exist not. They make you believe that you are nothing. They make you believe that you are nothing. They make you believe to just believe that you are nothing and no one but just a number, and that you have no voice, and that you are not worth to be heard, and that you don't have the capacity to express yourself. And the amount of labels, you're labeled and labeled and labeled and labeled, that you are absolutely disguised in those labels, and your the very human identity and the very human existence is taken away completely from you. And I call that colonization, I call that atrocity, and I call that brutality, and that I call that humanity in every term. And this is called Swords of Tyranny, teaching the walls how to weep. I would like to imagine and be in that kind of situation. It doesn't matter what. I became this victim, and refugees have been going through this journey for years and years. It's not my journey. It's not a journey that has begun a couple of years ago. It has been going throughout the history. And those who have caused these wars and waged those wars in those countries, taken everything from us, they have been silent, and they have been diverting the stories, but we also have the voice. And I tell this story from my own experience, teaching the walls how to weep. Walk in these dark interior walls, follow the overriding echoes of groans, and I will guide you to the heat-struck roses, captives with stolen color, damned in the crushing reefs of inflaming camps, red, smoky, oily. Away from camera lenses, sad, silenced, alone, anguished, damned piles of bones, barren and bruised, shattered and gored, stand the walls. A place sour and silent, silent and scary, scary and isolated. A place where the moon is under rays, it boils to the surface with fear. The stars are prisoners hiding from the guarding hyenas, disguised in uniforms of charm, feeding on flesh of children. Cast aside the purple crossroads with leaves apart, shells empty of life, grieving with grey evenings. A place crowded yet empty as fainted gazes, except the molding walls of labeled guests whose existence is forbidden, marks no rank, and death itself aspires nothing but their disjointed cheeks, each surging droplet 1,000 beats of dreams, and grief unheard, rushing down, down, making 100 prostrations on the solid breasts of rough roadways, fractionated drops of their beings, their unowned hopes, drizzling low on asphalts, trembled under the feet of vague mobs. Somewhere isolated from earth and space, where rivers are running by two round fountains, and the fire in their breasts roll like a camel in rage. Somewhere life stops like a period. It doesn't exist to breathe, impervious not to pity. Jasmine blossoms are the color of faces, clouds are red on walls, the dark webs of indefinite prisons, unable to find or measure itself. Somewhat they have extracted scent and color from human skin. Oceans are sherbet afraid, streets faithless as of the bright courts. Somewhere my pen's soul is scripted into every line and verse. Orion's crafted out of rigid threads with chains of iron round my race and swords of tyranny on my tongue. Somewhere annihilation, depression, oppression, societal thoughts echo through chambers of barbarism. But the figure sings in vain, wiped out from diary of recollections with heavy hands, choking up the golden lights in the favor of double standards. Her human love didn't arrive, but certainly the pretended one, harming, destroying, terrorizing. Psychiatrists instill PTSD. Specialists teach how to die. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Thank you. Yeah. You know, yeah. Again, with same as with E, the poems that she read. Each time I hear, you know, these poems that contest how the reality of life for immigrants, refugees, migrants, how these are constructed. Each time I hear these, you know, contestations, I celebrate. You know, I think it is very important and necessary that these constructs are opposed, deconstructed, dismantled. I think we need to recenter the humanity of all of us.
Thank you.
We hear from Helen next.
Wow, I'm still digesting your poems, Abdul. Just so viscerally powerful. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Well, I would just like to bring us into connection with what we all share in common, because the only way that war thrives is, as we all know, is when we're divided from each other. And yet we have so much in common, also beyond our humanity, our beautiful suffering earth, which as an eco-poet, I see as our wider body. And so I would like to bring in a very different dimension now to this evening, to read a poem which is in celebration of our beautiful planet home, our wider body. I use the name Gaia, which you may know is an ancient Greek name which has been given by the scientist James Lovelock to talk about the earth as a self-regulating superorganism. So this name Gaia means the earth. And the poem, it's kind of like a hymn poem. It's called Glory Be to Gaia. Glory be to Gaia for rainbows, glaciers, and fresh snow. We honor and praise you, Gaia, mysterious blue planet, unique in this vast universe. Like your widest rivers, our hearts flow with gratitude. Glory be to Gaia for forests, valleys, and exquisite flowers. We honor and praise you, Gaia, giant mother. Thank you for your clean air and water and all the fruits and seeds manifest through your abundant power. Glory be to Gaia for birdsong, mountains, and clear lakes. We honor and praise you, Gaia, great pulsating orb of life from which we've grown. Please help us feel our interdependence with all animal and human kin. Glory be to Gaia for millipedes, worms, and all tiny creatures. We honor and praise you, Gaia, ceaseless wheel of life. We embrace your eternal cycle, the rich soil our bodies will become, and the gift this present moment is. Glory be to Gaia for whales, phosphorescence, and fish. We honor and praise you, Gaia, planet jewel of the cosmos, sacred being infused in our DNA. Please light the spark of peace in us, that we may serve this precious life.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's yeah, really beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm going to 3 very short poems. So what's been happening with me is since the start of the Ukraine-Russian war, normally most of the time I write about refugee issues. I write about belonging, citizenship, things like that. But since the start of the Ukraine-Russian war, I've been writing or trying to write about war. So I've got a few poems. One of them is I'm not sure about it. When we come to it, I'll ask for your input. The others, I think they're okay, but they're short. So I'll start with God is on your side. Thinking about war. God is on your side. The priest blessed you and your comrades in arms, blessed the ground you were standing on, blessed the diggers that would dig the holes you would be buried in, blessed the weapons you carried, told you victory and glory were yours, told you God was on your side, took a collection for Holy Mother Church. And the second one is called Christmas is Coming. And it was inspired by messages coming from the Church of England around Christmas. Personally, I believe that the Church of England needs to actually be saying more about stopping what is happening in Gaza. It actually needs to say more, do more. I don't think that it is enough to call for prayer. I think because the Church of England is part of the British state, it has got a duty to stop the genocide. It also has a duty to protect Palestinian children. This is what I believe. And also I'm saying that because I'm cognizant of the Church of England's role in imperialism, colonialism, and in past genocides and war crimes. It has been there from the beginning. So it needs to do more. So this one is called Christmas is Coming. Christmas is coming. And Netanyahu, like Herod, slaughters Palestine's children. And the wise men and women, their homage to the child in the rubble, does it come with the ring that will bind the demon of genocide? And then the last very short poem that I'm going to read. Again, this one actually was inspired by the Ukraine-Russian war, but it also applies to other conflict zones around the world. And it is called "And When the War is Over." And when the war is over, the people shall return to find even rubble they rummage through, and the dust running through their fingers do not belong to them, were mortgaged, sold off years ago to fund the war effort.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very true. Mm.
It's very beautiful and reminding how normal it becomes to just occupy, kill, torture, and the sleeping dragon of colonization that was flying across the world, occupying, killing, and torturing, is just now back, and it is in a different form. I think this is a very dangerous thing to just keep silent, and it reminds me that if you're powerful, you can resist, and you can have the right to kill, destroy, annihilate, whatever. You have the power, and if you're powerless, then you don't deserve to live. That reminds me, and it is a very dangerous fact. We got Ukraine, and now the same similar reaction or similar act of genocide is going on, and Palestine. I don't want to change the name Palestine. It's Palestine, and who's going to be next? Taiwan, or is it going to be another country? And how beautifully and how hypocritically the world takes side one country has the right to defend and the other country doesn't have the right to defend. One country attacks and it's called a genocide, and the other country attacks and kills people and it is called defense. I really don't understand that. It's very beautifully written, and these are the people who play to be God, imposing, telling who's right and who's wrong, and blessing and imposing decrees, how to kill only, how to kill, destroy, annihilate, and torture, and spread hatred. And if it goes in this way, what is going to be left for the next generation to come? We are dragging them into some very clever kind of war, and to hate and kill each other for the generations and generations to come. And I'm very honored to be here among all the great poets who are talking about this, because I think this is important. And as Majid earlier mentioned, beautifully mentioned, it is important to remind ourselves that we are human beings, and one day, all of us will have our journey end. And I think it's important for all of us and for the poets to speak and write and remind that no, it is not how the world should be. It is not how the world is created for. And Majid's word is so beautiful. I really liked his one word, one term, one stanza. He said, I'm sorry if I say it wrongly or incorrectly, become the star of the sky. It's so beautiful. Just to become a mirror and reflect what we see and how our actions impact or affect others. And it is not about me being here. Okay, I'm in a very peaceful country, and others are suffering and being killed in another part of the world. It's not none of my business. No, it is going to come to my doorstep one day. And as I don't remember, one of the poets said, when they come for him, when it came for you, I did not stand. And when it came for others, we did not stand. And when they came for us, there was no one left to stand for me. And it's going to be that way. And I never hope that it's going to be that way, but it is important to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yes, Tamara.
I want to just build on to what's been said so far and just say that while we are looking into these humanitarian crises, we should always make a distinction between governments, states, and civilians. While what's happening in Gaza and Israel is extremely painful, we should also remember that there were civilians on the Israeli side who have suffered great tortures. I think sometimes when we are so absorbed in our own trauma, and I've seen this in my own past and heritage a lot, I still see it actually, it blocks us from seeing or connecting. We are just seeing ourselves as the victim, so much so that we have no more compassion to extend to another human being because we are so deeply buried in our own trauma. So hopefully while we're doing these sessions through our poetry, we will be seeing into the pains that are beyond our own fence. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We are now at 7:36 p.m. This is your final chance. If you've been listening in, have been present, and you'd like to share your own poems, this is your final chance to say yes.
Yes, I will say yes. May I?
Yes, please.
I wrote a poem, it's already several weeks ago, but I've not ever read it before, but I will read this. When is enough enough? There are no waters of consolation, no balm in Gilead. Where can salvation be found when death reigns from on high? Buildings crumble, bodies break and bleed in the dust. Pain feels a child's pink shoe. Beneath the twisted rubble, no humanity, can be found.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Can I just read a short poem, please, Ambrose?
Yes, please, Robin.
This is from the perspective of an Englishman who's led a very sheltered life compared to some of you. It's called Curtilage. I want a garden I can grow old in, a potted up future I can trust. But the TV is bleeding on my carpet. I hope the government can get the stain out. I mow my lawn, I pay my taxes, but the world is breaking down my door with axes. How can I relax on my patio when people fall from aeroplanes trying to get here? Fleeing Kabul, fleeing the consequence of war, the carelessness of politicians. What have I got to fear? Torn maps and shredded history, boatloads drowning in the sea. Robbery continues by the banks. The share price of morality has crashed. Who's paying the bill for all this tragedy? The bounce check of the future can't be cashed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Robin. Thank you. And if there's no one else, maybe we go back to the poets. Do you have any final words? Oh, yes, Fiona. Yes.
Hi, Ambrose. I've just been able to join for the last half hour. Really enjoyed these really sensitive and heartfelt poetry. Thank you so much. It's been, it's always raises awareness. It raises our understanding if we can listen to other people's voices and in such beautiful ways. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for enabling us to share in world view rather than the news view that isn't right. We know that the news view is often clipped and we don't hear what's really going on. So thank you so much for, I'm sure a lot of this poetry came through tears writing and we are very honoured to be able to share it with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, maybe we go around, final words, anyone. What would you like us to take away from today, from this evening? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
I was moved by Helen's poem about Gaia, and I think that the bottom line is that we've all got to share the planet. We've all got to share the planet with each other. And seems like most disputes are over pieces of land or history, but the basic underlying thing is we're all human and we all share the same planet.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Malka, did you want to say something?
I just wondered if there is chance to read a small, short poem about the war in Gaza and
yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Letter to Santa. Dear Santa, when you arrive on Christmas Eve, could you please bring back our dreams that have been stolen? My school, my friends that became ashes under fire, the roof of our house, the smell of my mom and dad, why they left me without goodbye. There was a green garden, a Ferris wheel, ice cream vans, shadow of lovers. Nothing left for us only the stench of death. Santa, how can you find the smile of childhood that has been burned underground, without shrouds, without a funeral, without a farewell? Please, Santa, take back your precious gift and give me back only my home and peace. Dear Santa, sorry that your children are now not here anymore. Sorry, Santa, your children have become men in wartime, and their toys are guns, and their ecstasy is the smell of gunpowder. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Malka. Thank you. So if anyone wants to say anything, just unmute and speak.
I want to say thank you so much for organizing this event. And you asked what we should do going forward. And perhaps I thought next time we read our each other's poetry rather than our own, to speak in the voice of the other, to hear better, perhaps. Just an idea. Thank you for organizing.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Thank you.
Really nice work, really lovely poet. And yeah, if ever you want me to come read again, let me know. I'm happy to come and read for you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very humbled.
Yeah, it was really great to hear you as well, Majid. Feel your real passion, and yeah, it's very inspiring.
Thank you.
Mm.